88.5 LP FM, Better Radio. As usual, today's music is brought to you by the Rock Bar and Grill in Plessis. Lunch and dinner are served daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Hit them up at 482-0819. That is 482-0819. So remember that Better Conversation I was telling you guys about earlier today? The fabled Better Conversation that we weren't sure when it was happening? Well, it's here. It is here, and it is going to be a great time. We have a very special guest in the studio with us today. Jay's cousin Kevin, how are you doing, man?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem. So, Jay tells me you're interested in. You do a lot of stuff with wine and wine tasting.
Yeah, and amateur winemaking.
Very nice, very nice. I do not know a lot about wine or anything of that nature, so if we have a conversation about that
He's Irish,
during the show.
Scotch and whiskey.
Yeah. So if I come across as a total idiot in this subject, that is why.
I don't have time for it. Let's quit throwing me softballs, Carl. You're lobbing them curveballs.
Curveballs. Hanging curves. All right.
Check 1 2. Can you hear me on your thing? I don't know if this. Let's.
I can't hear you on his or on this one.
This is gonna be the shtick for the show. I think every show we should come in and just fumble.
We should. We will come in and fumble for a minute. That is going to be our trademark. Whatever you want to. Whatever. Can't think of it.
Check 1 2. Check. Can you hear me now?
That is coming in beautifully.
I'm wrapping this up with a red kerchief so I don't. That's what you heard in the last show. That was me breathing my nose hairs into the microphone.
Yeah. No
So
problem.
I got a red kerchief on it. Can you still hear what I'm saying?
I can still hear what you're saying.
Is it okay?
Yes.
'Cause I think we got a pop filter here.
I can still hear what you're saying, and I'm
Good.
trying not to look over at the computer because
Oh yeah, I have to cover that up, don't I? What
Crap.
today am I going to cover the computer up with, Carl?
The Tom Jones one.
Let's do it. See, Kevin, Carl has a problem with looking while we're talking. He'll look at the computer and watch. See how you can see the going up and down the equalizer? He'll stare at it, and then while he's staring at it, so he just stops talking to the microphone for like 5 minutes, and he left the room.
It happens.
I'm talking to myself in the air for 5 minutes, and then, so I have to do this now. So I have to cover it up with an album, the screen, so he will not be tempted
Yes.
to look at the.
And speaking of microphones, just a heads up: don't be afraid to get in like really close to the microphone,
Yeah,
because that's like basically what you have to do just to get it to be.
Gotcha.
Legible.
Talk straight into it. Talk next to it, and that's how you do it. Because when you talk straight into it, you get a lot of pops and pups and pups.
Static and
It's pops.
Pops?
Yeah, because when you say peas, you'll hear it comes boom boom. It's like getting hit in the face.
Satchmo Pops.
Satchmo
Yeah,
Pops.
I've seen them. Yeah,
You've seen them?
They played here, right?
I don't know. Who's a sat? I've heard of that band.
I have never heard of that
I
band.
know they're kind of a local band type of thing, and there's a few guys, and I hear about them once in a while, but I haven't seen them myself either. I've not seen them myself.
Yeah, we got to turn Kevin up. We'll move you in. Quite coming over.
Yeah, it takes getting used to.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
For sure.
We'll get it. Listen, I haven't seen you in a while. I think I saw you about a year ago. We had Death and Family, and we hung out briefly, remember, at the wake.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. And then before that, I think it'd been 8 years or so. We hadn't seen each other in
Been
years.
a while.
Long time.
You and your mom in Clayton.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when
But
I was
that
in the
was a
band.
year or two ago.
Yeah, okay. But that was after we saw each other with George.
7-8 year stretch.
Because we went to
It was a
George's
while. Yep.
funeral, and then...
Yeah.
Because that was after George's funeral.
Yeah. Yep.
So before that, it'd been years, man.
Yeah. Wow.
This is just one giant family reunion.
It is.
That's what it's
Carl.
going to be.
You're our baby, Carl. You're beautiful.
God.
It's that red hair, man. I'm telling you.
I don't look anything like either of you, though.
Well, you're
Split
adopted.
image.
You're the
okay.
redheaded stepchild.
All right, that's fair.
That's where the term came from.
Right, okay. All right, I get it. Fair enough.
I see you brought some wine. Like, we caught up a little bit, and you said at the wake that you have been making wine yourself and getting it judged and going to judgings. And so what'd you bring us here? What do we got to look at?
I brought a semi-dry raspberry that I did from raspberries from my backyard.
Ooh.
And cherries that I bought at a store, but made wine from the cherries.
So this is 2015 raspberry, semi-dry. I know dry means bitter, right? Not sweet, obviously. But how do you get dry, and how does that come about?
Dry is well, there's tannins in grapes and regular grape skins and stuff. There's tannins, and tannins and stuff are usually what make the wine really, really dry.
Okay.
So you cannot leave the skins on for a very long time. If you just leave the skins on a little while, it'll slightly dye the wine or whatever and produce a little bit of tannin, but not as much as leaving them on for a long time and getting the wine a darker color. And you can come up with like rosés or reds, blushes. That's what gives them their color and stuff, is leaving them on the skin a little bit of time and not letting them darken.
Okay.
And stuff. So you can actually get a white wine or rosé and stuff from a red grape. Just don't leave it on the skin.
And you can make a wine out of any fruit, basically, right?
Yeah.
As long as there's sugar in the fruit, it will ferment to make some kind of alcohol.
Yep. You add the yeast and the sugar. I mean, the amount of sugar, the more sugar you add, the higher the alcohol. But then you have to use specific kinds of yeast that will really tolerate that higher percentage of alcohol. So some of them will do up to like 18%. Some ports, if you use port yeast and stuff or whatever, ports are a little different. They're higher alcohol. Some people add brandy to their wine and stuff and make it a port.
Okay.
But some add a lot more fruit or a lot more grapes and stuff and everything and age it a little different and use a different yeast.
How'd you get into all this? Last time I talked to you, the last time I saw you, you had made a didgeridoo.
A
A couple of them. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. How do you say it?
Didgeridoo.
Okay.
It's Australian.
Yeah. And you brought it over to where I was living in Watertown, and it was pretty cool. But you made it. What'd you make it out of? It was out of PVC.
Yeah. I seen it online. They were
How-
made out of PVC pipes.
Yeah.
A hot air gun. I went and bought a hot air gun to bend it because you need a third of the way up from the top. You need a slight bend, and a third of the way up from the bottom. You need a slight bend, so it has a natural reverb on the inside. And then you take a bolt with a rounded end on it, and you heat spots up, and you push it in and make those divots on the inside, so it's got those bumps on the inside. And I don't know the
What do
instructions.
the divots do? They add tone, a certain tone.
Reverb and everything. So the actual sound can bounce off all the rivets and everything on the inside of it. It creates more of a natural acoustics and stuff and everything. Because the original ones and stuff that came from the Aborigines and everything, they used specific wood from trees that they let ants and stuff. Ants would hollow the inside of them out and everything, and they would find specific trees that had a shape, and it was cool. It's
Yeah,
pretty
and
cool.
every piece of wood has its own sound, and every kind of wood would have a tone, different tone. I would think, like
Yep.
depending
Yeah.
on the type of tree.
Yeah.
I would think. Was it a musical instrument, or did
Yep.
they actually have another use? Like a lot of times,
It was an instrument.
primitive cultures.
Yeah, from their culture, they didn't have instruments and stuff out there, so they would get these and mimic sounds of nature and stuff like that. Like elephants. There was a bunch of stuff online that I looked up, and they had elephants showing how to make elephant sounds, or kangaroos, which you wouldn't think would make a sound at all, but it was kind of like a thumping, like a thump, like jumping thing. Yeah. And a kookaburra, their national bird, their bird. The one, the
Men at Work stole their
kookaburras.
kookaburra, gum tree, and they lost. Men at Work lost it. My favorite, like my third favorite band of all time, they lost the lawsuit because they stole from Men Down Under.
That seems to be
that they stole the lick.
That seems to be a recurring theme today.
That's
Just
right.
a lot of stolen,
Yeah, 'cause
ripped off.
before you got here, we got into a weird thing. I said, play this. So we started playing songs that sound just alike.
Yeah, like the Ghostbusters theme and
I Want a New Drug.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah.
Went to court. Huey Lewis sued and won. So now they get the money from the Ghostbusters theme.
Is it
Wow.
like
And
credited
now that
to
the
them?
movies come back
Now they got a
out,
new movie. Yeah.
I wonder how much money Huey Lewis is just starting to get checks showing up in his. What's this? 18 cents? Oh, $22? They're just coming left and right now because the new movie's coming out.
Yep.
Mr.
Nervous
Huey
about
Lewis.
that new movie though. I don't know.
I kind of am too. I'm old school. I'm used to the old one, and I seen something online a while ago when they first started talking about it that said if if they played it off from the beginning, like it was kind of an original cast sort of thing, and then worked into them being like family members or something off of that or something, then it may catch on a little better.
I honestly I don't know anything about it. I have not seen the trailer. I know like two of the girls that I think that are in it, and I heard that maybe it wasn't. I guess what I'm saying is, go ahead. Just explain.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't matter.
I don't know either, and I don't really.
Well, I guess what I was going to ask you is,
I think they made it more of a comedy type of thing and stuff than like the actual Ghostbusters theme itself.
But
They
is
made
it
more of
so?
like
It's not a continuation. Is it a separate, complete movie? And are any of the original
think so.
actors in it?
That is the thing. It's
question.
like that is the question. They don't even. It's like that question's been thrown around. Like, oh, is it a sequel? Is it a reboot? And they didn't really. I think the studio or the whatever didn't give like a straight answer. Like, it doesn't take place in the same universe or like whatever. But then they like kind of went back on that or something like that. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they are going to acknowledge the previous like the previous.
Were any of the original
Ghostbusters
cast
team?
members in the trailer at all?
No, alls I know is I think Dan Aykroyd's producing it. So yeah,
He owns it.
Yeah.
I think he owns the actual franchise.
yeah. I don't think
Because he wrote it. John
Nice.
Belushi. It was originally supposed to be a John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd movie.
Oh,
But John Belushi died in 82.
Yep.
They made it in 84.
yeah.
And you can see either, I think it was fall of 83, they were filming the New York scenes in New York during that time. And nobody in New York, I mean, especially back then, there's no social media. When they're running down the sidewalk with their backpacks and you see people stopping and looking at them,
That's real.
they're really stopping and going, I just saw Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd run up the street. Nobody really, they didn't know what they were doing, and that's why the reactions are perfect. And when the reporter's on the corner, there's a scene with a reporter on the corner, he's got the mic in his hand, and he's talking, and there's a guy in denim with a beard and long hair that's standing behind him, poking his face in the scene. He scratches his beard, and then he walks away. If you watch the scene, which maybe, well, we don't have a copy of it here. I didn't bring it. Next time we'll bring it.
Yeah.
There's that guy he wasn't an actor. He was just some dude standing in the background looking at the camera, and it was so perfect they kept it in the edit.
I actually do have a digital copy of it though.
Bring it up.
I
While we're talking
yeah.
here, we'll bring it up. Are you, to get back to the wine for a minute, what's your next judging that you're going to go to? Are you planning on, or are you not?
Submitted in the state fair again.
Oh,
Ooh,
sweet.
nice.
Yeah, 3 years.
What'd you win in the state? What'd you win? You won something. You
Yeah,
told me you won some awards.
Peter, a guy that used to own the winemaker on the public square in Watertown, he was open for a little over 5 years, I think. And I went one time to check out some stuff there. And he started talking to me about making wine, and I asked him if I could make it from my raspberries that I grow in my backyard. And he pointed to his wooden table and said, Kevin, if you add enough sugar and yeast and chop that up fine enough, you can make wine out of that. But it probably wouldn't taste too good. So I said, okay, so I guess that's a yes. So I bought a recipe book off him that was dated 1976. Old recipe book. And he said the recipes haven't changed much at all. So, yeah, I did a few pounds of fruit per gallon of water, to 2 pounds of sugar.
Oh, in your
and a
kitchen,
pack
or
of
where are you doing
yeast.
this? Just
Yep, right.
Okay.
That's what I was doing. It right in my home, right in my kitchen at my house.
yeah.
And he, I got some of the supplies off him, stirring supplies and stuff like that. And I've gotten buckets from work. I've worked in restaurants for 24 years, so I got some. Nice.
Yeah, it's constant chickens here.
chickenry.
How far in is said
It's
scene?
it's in the middle. Don't play it because they'll have the music on there. It's during the middle where it's the music montage after it
right.
shows them like. It's right before they hire on
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
It's the scene previous, right before that.
I can find it.
I love music. We talk. My youngest and I we watch a lot of cartoons. He's 14, not cartoons, movies. He's 14 now, so it's fun to. I'm starting to expose him to movies that I love that are more adult because he can watch them now, and he knows about the music montage. We watch movies. Dad, they're doing a music montage. You know, where you go ahead in time, you play music, and then you can jump ahead years through music through one song. You just encapsulate a large amount of time.
I heard him say on that One Better Conversation that he listens to the music that you do and stuff. It's like a family thing and everything. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, you know, I've tried to.
Yeah.
It's all about rock and roll. So you should. It's way past this, man. I go a little farther.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
50 minutes.
So yeah, Peter talked me into starting,
Okay.
making wine or whatever with the raspberries. So I started.
The band, the Raspberries. What did they sing? Merry Merry Christmas, Merry Merry. Was that the Raspberries?
I have no.
Merry Christmas.
I know the.
Merry Christmas.
Is that?
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I don't know. Them and the Cranberries. I don't know.
Yes.
Those two are
Buck Cherry.
Buck Cherry.
I did
Classic.
Lemonheads.
Classic.
cranberry wine as well, cranberry pomegranate.
Can you make apple wine, or that just turns into cider?
No, you make apple wine. Yeah, you can make apple cider, hard cider.
So you can make an apple wine, and what's the difference?
Apple wine from stuff I had read, I guess. Apple wine. I don't know. I thought apple cider had a little more alcohol per volume, but I guess apple
technically,
wine
what's
does.
the difference? Just alcohol volume amount, or
Yeah, the way it's, I guess the way it's produced. It's produced differently, I guess. Hard cider, you can actually let it sit out and everything, and I don't know. You can make ice wine as well. It's a bunch of gambits. It's about a bunch of stuff to do and stuff. I like them, but they all like fruit wine. When you're working with fruit wine, you can't really ever get a dry fruit wine because there's not many tannins, if any, in most fruit at all, because it's usually in the grape skin.
okay,
So they end up, if you let them ferment until they're completely done, they end up with like a semi-dry.
okay,
Cranberries, I did a cranberry pomegranate. That ended up a little bit drier
Back it up,
because
Carl.
I think the skins in the cranberries were kind of similar. I don't know, not similar to the grape, but I don't know. It was weird. It ended up a little drier than some of the other fruits I'd done. But yeah, Peter was a good guy, and he shut down last August. But he had meetings there every month. Once a month, we'd get together. About a dozen of us would get together and bring our own homemade wines and sample each other's wines and everything and try them.
Sorry, I just got to tell him.
No, you're good.
It's right before
Right
this.
before.
It's back, just a hair back before this.
I'll go back 5 minutes.
See how tired they are? Tired out he is. They've been working. Maybe go back 4 minutes.
5 minutes
Four-
or so.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be much.
Breeze felt good.
Yeah, you don't get
Breeze
much.
is good, too.
I forgot the fan.
Oh, no.
forgot the
No, I
fan.
mean, that's
It's not that bad in here now, though.
No.
No,
Like, it's tolerable,
Yeah.
just it's a lot of hot air, which is normal for this.
which is normal for us. But
Um,
humid air. That's a
I had
different
some
question.
ideas I was thinking of last night, and Carl,
Yes, sir.
could bowling not be the whitest sport? To get back to bowling again,
Oh, okay. All right.
you're just a hair past it.
Really? Oh, my God. Okay.
It's like
so
right
difficult.
when it starts up. They have I remember my grandmother used to tell me tales on the frontier of a ghost train that would fly through town. Or remember that? You know the scene? I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about? It's that
I
scene.
never able to pinpoint when it
Well, listen. You
takes
need-
place.
Your
Listen.
pinpointing abilities are I never gave you that Cannonball Run DVD either.
Oh, snap. I did look it up, though. I haven't watched it yet, but I did find a place where I can watch it. so
Great.
I'm going to watch
Cannonball
that.
Run. Remember that movie?
old school movie.
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, you think now bowling? I would consider a super white sport. You don't see black people bowl very often. I mean, I know it's a generality, but it's my opinion, humble opinion, but it's true. So I think bowling is now. Can you think of a whiter sport than bowling? That only you never ever catch a black guy.
See, I almost said golf, but then I realized that's not true. What else?
Because Tiger's good. Well, was good. I don't
Was.
know.
Yeah, not really anymore.
Yeah, it's the newer
I'll
crowd.
just let it play. Sport. Cricket. Do any black people play cricket?
It's not on my list, but no.
I've
To
never
answer
seen
your question.
everyone's always just
Well,
white.
It's a British sport. I mean, it's
True.
English, you know.
Yeah. I
So
don't know in other countries. I have no clue.
I'm sure there's like 3 in the world somewhere.
Yeah,
But for
maybe.
this is all for the most part stuff here. So, I had horseshoes.
True. Oh, and croquet.
I have croquet also, but that's more of an Italian sport. Have you ever seen a black man play horseshoes?
No.
We're pretty dorky as white people. Our sports are like, compared to like most sports, unique to white people sports, it's pretty white bread. I mean, pretty straight. It makes me think of guys that wear like sweaters tied around their neck, you know, like the preppy.
Or the waist. That's even better.
That is with a fanny pack, Carl.
With a fanny pack.
Like
Yes.
the one you wore today.
Yes.
I like it's blue and has Velcro on it.
Yeah, it's not really a blue. It's more of like a teal color.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's
in,
got
in the
Velcro,
right light
though.
conditions.
It has Velcro though, so that's the most important thing. Anyway.
How about squash or handball?
Ooh. What about racquetball? Never.
Yeah.
Racquetball is so much fun though.
They're very white. Those are yuppie 80s cocaine-fueled sports.
Yes.
That's why they were playing racquetball
Yes.
constantly, and they're just up all the time. So
You said squash and it threw me off. I thought the vegetable.
no, it's a game. It's like handball. It's played in a square boxed room inside of a
Okay.
gym or something.
They
You
hit
know,
it off the wall.
it's just
Yeah.
another variation.
It's
right?
it's a lot like, honestly, if it was comparable to anything, it's a lot like racquetball, except the rackets are differently sized and yeah, just like.
But it's not handball. They use that.
It's not. No, it's not handball. Yeah, they use a racket.
It's still pretty white.
It's very white. That's no secret at all.
That was one thing I had. Another question I have. Have you ever seen an Amish man jogging down the road? Like
No.
for health reasons.
No.
Like recreation.
No, they probably get enough sweating and everything and stuff on the farm and out in the field. They probably don't need any jogging.
I've never seen an Amish man
No.
jog.
No, they walk and all the clothes they wear and the hat and everything. They got to be sweating to death in the clothes.
How did they all decide on that dark blue color as their color?
I
Like,
think
was there a vote taken?
more of a neutralish kind of color. I think is maybe they don't want it like being flashy. They don't like their pictures taken. They don't kind of like.
But I think those
Old
clothes were
school.
probably decided on before photography.
Oh yeah,
I'm assuming.
Like, well, we can either go with blue, black, neon green.
What would be
Uh,
the easiest
neon
to
green,
dye
neon green.
back? The easiest to naturally dye, I would think, back in the day, would be blues and blacks. those
Probably.
dark,
Yeah.
because you use berries and things to
Yeah.
get the colors.
Yep,
So maybe that's probably why they went that way.
yep. Because there's the Pennsylvania Dutch. There's different kinds of Amish too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's some more liberal than others.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yep. That are kind of switched, and then they switched off some of them to like, what, Mennonites or whatever. There's another
They're
one
like-
that's they use as electricity and stuff and everything, and they're not as hardcore as the Amish. I think they're right? Called Mennonites.
yeah,
Mennonites,
like
yeah.
they drive, but they're
Right. They
here's
drive
the scene
too.
right here. This is it. See the guy? in
Oh,
the back?
hello.
Don't play it though, because the music's playing. See the
Yeah.
guy? He's just like
Just
He's just checking out. That was
and they
real.
went with
Oh,
that.
my
They went with
God.
that cut. That take.
so that's a
another-
completely random dude.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
great.
god.
And he was like checking himself, checking his
Yeah, it's
beard,
great.
rubbing
It's-
his beard.
That's awesome.
It's one of my favorite parts, man. I love it.
Love it. Love
It's
it.
so random.
Nice.
What were we talking about?
What do you think of the studio, Carl? I did a little change.
Yeah, I was gonna say I came in and I was like, something is different about this place.
I realized from listening to our shows that we have windows open. There's chickens flying around. It still sounds fine. I think
yeah.
we have a shoestring budget here, obviously, as you can see,
Yes.
and everything's donated. And I brought equipment that I had. It sounds fine.
Yeah.
I think we're worrying too much about too many things.
Yeah. If anything,
I just want a pop filter.
Just get the pop filter.
Yes, I just want a pop filter, man.
I'm just looking at you with the bandana on the mic.
Yeah, well, you have an old
I
T-shirt that I ripped apart and wadded around there. So
Aren't they just styrofoam sleeve
like
things
a-
that go right over them?
it's a.
I've
I was
seen
going to
them.
say my mother used to make these things years ago, where she had these round brown wooden frames, and she would stretch fabric over it, clamp it down, and then sew on it, and sew little things, embroidery.
Oh
put
yeah.
on,
Yeah. They
pillows
look like
and
the
things.
little circle shaped.
If we had one of those circle things and just stuck some like cheesecloth or something on it, it would do the same thing.
It would work.
Or I can go and get one for like $5 from Dr. Guitar, which I probably will end up doing that. Not to give
Yeah.
them the plug for any reason, because that guy, he gave me the shaft years ago, but I'm not going to say none. That's all
Dr.
far as I'm going.
Guitar.
Not the shit. Not I shouldn't say that. He treated me like the guy at not any names, but
Oh,
that's fine.
okay. I see. Thanks, Doctor.
And yeah, I'll tell you, man. One of these days. It
Yeah.
bothered me.
Shout out to Cue Ball and Droopy Eyes.
I wasn't saying that.
Oh no, still,
But yeah.
I wanted to give him a shout out.
Simplex, how you doing down there? How are things going? All right. I watched The Godfather last night.
Part 1, Part 2,
Part
both
1,
of them? Okay.
the first one, The Godfather, with the sound off for like I have it on VCR tape, and it's
Very nice.
long, so it's 2 tapes. So halfway through, obviously I put the other tape in. The second tape, I muted the sound and listened to our show because it was up.
Oh, no.
So I just listened to our show while I was watching it. But I was watching, so it gave me a chance to watch it without listening to it, and really focus obviously on the visuals. What a marked difference Al Pacino's character as Michael is from the beginning of the movie to, like, I just happened to look up like 3/4 of the way through the movie,
and you're like, oh.
and his eyes were literally black compared to how he looked in the beginning. Like when he brings, you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
Do you know the movie? Have you seen The Godfather, the original?
Oh my God! Way back in the day, I haven't seen it in years.
Well, in the beginning of the movie, it's Connie's wedding.
Sure.
Everyone knows the movie. So Michael brings Kate as his guest. He's dating her. He's in his uniform. And he's looking around the crowd. And he's smiling with Kate. And his eyes are light. And he's he's moving quick. And he's looking around. And then he starts talking about his father, when his father and Luca Brasi got Johnny Fontaine's contract signed.
Yeah.
So he says either your blood or your signature is going to be on his paper, is what they warned the guy, and he made him sign it. When he tells Kate that story, you can see his eyes go a little cold. Pacino's, it doesn't get much better than, especially early Pacino.
No.
And then I just happened to look up 3/4 away, and I seen him in a scene. I think he went toward the end. It was right. Well, actually, it was just prior to when they start the big church scene, and he kills all the 5 family heads.
Spoilers.
His eyes are they're black, man. Black as coal. And Kay asks him, whatever. Michael has Connie's husband killed. In the scene, they get in the car. Right before, Michael gets him to admit that he had Sonny killed.
Okay.
That he set him up. That's all he needed.
Mm-hmm.
So now he gets in the car, they start to drive away, and I'm watching the scene, and to watch it without the visuals, it was so cool. They wrap the cord around his neck, and they pull him back, and Coppola had the camera mounted right on the front of the car, or somewhere, but zoomed in, so it looks like the feet he kicks the windshield out because they're choking him, and the feet are like right in the camera, in the camera. What an amazing scene.
He's a genius. Yeah.
So when she asked him if he had him killed, he just lies straight in her face, and his eyes are just black, man. What a great movie.
I haven't paid attention to that, actually.
Oh, it's amazing.
Huh.
What a great movie. I haven't seen it in a while, and I watched that. And then I started watching Scent of a Woman. You haven't seen
I
that?
have not seen that movie.
He won. You ever seen that, Scent of a Woman?
I don't.
Al Pacino.
No.
Hoo-ah! That's where that line comes from.
No.
Oh, is it that where you said that he started to go?
Yeah, that's when
into
he goes from
loud or
old
from
Pacino voice to screaming, yelling Pacino. That's the switch. Son of a Woman is the. You know how he's like, he always screaming in his movies.
Yeah.
That was the switch. But I shut the movie off after a few minutes because I want to watch it with my kid this weekend.
Sure.
I want to see it fresh again. So, but he's great in that, man. Absolutely great in that. You got to see it, man.
Yeah. I'll add that to my watch list.
Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade, I think his name is.
Huh. Okay. Wait. Was this?
That's the character in Son of a Woman.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's. Where you living now, man? You're uptown, right?
That dead air, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Right in.
Don't get too specific. But
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell everyone.
We're gonna need
It's
a
gonna be
house-
on the internet.
we're gonna need a
We
house-
can edit that out. I mean, we can cut it off.
We're gonna need a house number, and
Yeah.
if you have a PO box, that one too.
My social is.
You like where you're at? You said you bought the place, right? You bought a house.
Yeah, went through city of Watertown, neighbors of Watertown, got help through the city and stuff with
Sure.
grants and loans, and
Why not?
y'all wanted to do it for April. We like 2007, 2008, we were renting an apartment and stuff in town, and then the Fort Drum housing crunch kind of went on, and it was really hard. The lady we were renting from said we could stay there as long as we wanted, not to worry about anything and all that good stuff. And so I landscaped her whole yard for her and made it look nice, because April's got we've been together 15 years now, but she has muscular dystrophy. So in the beginning, it took her a while to get from her electric wheelchair to her feet to actually be able to furniture walk or wall walk a little bit and stuff. And she stared out of a window that was just a big mud hill with trees coming out of it. So the lady said we'd live there for a while, so I landscaped it all and thought I did a good job. And then the day our year lease went up, she said, "I'm sorry, I'm going to sell the house."
Oh.
So I didn't want to go through it again, especially with April. She couldn't walk up or down stairs at that time at all, or had very difficulty going any incline or decline whatsoever. So I didn't want to go through it again trying to find an apartment, because it wasn't so easy. And I just went through the city, went through the grants and the loans and stuff that were available out there and everything. And, I helped try to stay home for take care of her, work, try to pay our mortgage and everything, and just make it. I just want to keep, keep the roof.
Are you still cooking?
24 years of cooking and stuff, and worked at the River Edge in the Bay for a little while, in Romanello South and Buffalo, and worked under like 4 different chefs throughout my life. Really, really good people. But then went to a restaurant here in Watertown. Been there with them a while and stuff. But
Cool. I remember
no
eating
longer trying to do my own thing with April.
when I saw you. The restaurant you were working at, and I'm going to say what it was. I don't know if it's the night you were on or what. I remember you came out and talked to me once or twice when I was there. And you remember? Do you remember at all me stopping in?
Well, years ago.
It was a long time. This is like
Yeah.
at least 10.
Yeah.
Oof.
I got sick, man. I had the steak and shrimp dinner, and I got violently sick the next morning, man. I was throwing up for hours.
Yeah, I just don't. I believe in 100%.
Made me
about-
nervous, man.
doing-
I haven't ate there. Oh, I did go back for steak, but I'll never touch the shrimp, man.
I want to do something to where I know it's just I don't have to rely on a heck of a lot of other people. Do your own thing. I mean, I have my own little small garden in my backyard with some vegetables and stuff in it and everything.
Oh, what were you telling me you guys you're thinking about doing a wine store or something you're talking about?
Yeah, a local New York driven lounge, an actual wine lounge, no liquor. I'm not really into that kind of scene type of deal, I've been with April a while, and more of a homebody type of deal and stuff if I'm not working. So I started making wine. I mean, I had stuff in my backyard for the most part. I worked with juice a couple times, but I like doing it fresh.
O.J.
from my own-
Simpson?
Yeah.
Love
No,
that guy.
from fruit.
What's he doing now? Oh, that's right. He's incarcerated.
Oof.
So I haven't done too bad. Peter talked me into submitting him a couple years ago at the state fair, at the owner of the winemaker there, and I submitted 8 2 years ago, and took 4 bronze, and then last year I submitted 8 and took 6 bronze, a silver, and a gold.
Nice.
And the silver and gold were from mead, from honey. It's the same process, it's just made with honey. Old medieval times and stuff. They used to drink mead a lot.
I
Honey
saw a
wine.
thing on CBS Sunday Morning a little while back, maybe a year or two ago, about mead. A whole story on it, and they said it goes way back to like
medieval
the kings
times.
and all that
Yep,
stuff.
Yep. And it's because it was local. It was available. It was local. They knew what they were doing. Now,
How's the hangover on mead compared to wine? Like wine will give you explosive, don't want to do anything for a week hangover, a headache. But do you get a headache like from all the sugar? It's pure sugar. Have you ever got a hangover from the mead?
The natural sugar in the mead
Yeah.
is what produces. You can add more sugar to it if you'd like, but the natural sugar in the mead is supposed to be the only sugar to create the alcohol. So, and there's a big difference too when you use the honey, if it's from spring or fall, because you have different flowers, you have different pollinations, different flowers. So the honey tastes a little different in the spring and in the fall. And that was the best part about the mead was I used local honey.
Bring up mead on the.
Mead.
Bring it up on Wikipedia. We'll look at mead
We
for a
will
minute.
do that.
I want to know about mead, and I want to know, Carl, if we can figure out the hangover rate on mead, how bad it is. It just seems to me that you drink a bottle of mead,
Yeah.
you're going to be hurting the next day.
Depending on how high the alcohol actually gets in it too, because you probably, to get like that, you'd probably have to drink a good chunk of mead, and I think that's probably all they did do back in the medieval times. They'd go and semi-slay somebody or do whatever they did, and then go back and party and just drink until they fell over.
Nice.
What's it say there, Carl?
Mead, an alcoholic beverage created by fermenting honey with water, sometimes fruit, spices, grains, or hops. The alcohol content ranges from about 8% to more than 20%. The defining characteristic is that the majority of the beverage fermentable sugar is derived from honey. It may still be carbonated, produced throughout ancient Europe, Africa, and Asia. And it played an important role in the mythology of some peoples, including mead of poetry, a mead of Norse mythology, crafted from the blood of the wise king. Don't know how to pronounce that name.
That's an album name. The Blood
Yes.
of the Wise Being
Yes.
Kaiser.
Yes,
What band was that, Carl? Was that
you got it somewhere. You got to have it somewhere.
King Crimson?
King
Was that
Cri-
one of their albums?
in the Court of the Crimson King.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was their second album. That was their sophomore
Blood.
slump that they went through.
Okay, so what are we looking for here?
I just want to know about me, what it was.
Well, mead, that's
expand
mead,
more.
and he said you could add fruit or stuff or whatever to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you add fruit to it, it's called Mellow Mel. M-E-L-O. Mellow.
Yeah, he was a
M-E-L.
rapper.
Mellow
Grandmaster Melly Mel.
yeah, that guy.
Mellow.
Hang
Yeah,
on.
it's called
I'll
Mellow
show
Mel.
you. Keep talking.
And that's actually what I did. I used peaches.
Okay.
And I did a peach mead and a peach orange mead. And with the peach orange, I actually zested orange rinds.
I bet that sounds good, man.
So it turned, well, the New York State judges, they liked it. I didn't think it would, I thought I messed it up. It
So you
had
got a
like
gold for your mead?
I got a gold
Your
for my
mead?
peach mead and a silver for my peach orange.
Well, then that's where you ought to concentrate.
Well,
I would
think
concentrate
it's-
on all mead right now, man. There's a market for
Yes.
it.
I think it's mostly because it was
Everybody's doing
all-
wine, Kevin.
all natural
Meat it
stuff.
up.
Differentiate
You know?
yourself.
Raspberries, cherries, like the all natural stuff. I did the first ones I submitted a couple years ago. I did a mixed berry. I called it backyard berry because most of it came from my backyard.
Yeah.
I did strawberries, raspberries, black raspberries or black caps are called around here. A lot of them are wild in the woods. Big thorns. Yeah, bad. I got some of them in my backyard that I trained along my fence.
Nice.
So I had
Schnozberries?
and blueberries.
Who's ever heard of a schnozberry?
And blueberries. But the blueberries I did buy at the store. I have 4 blueberry trees, but they didn't bushes, but they didn't produce yet. But I did buy them from the store, the blueberries, and they were New Jersey blueberries. So the blueberry plants I have in my backyard are New Jersey blueberry plants.
There's blueberries
so I
in New
figured,
Jersey?
Same thing. I
What
guess
is in
they
New
produce
Jersey?
a lot of blueberries in New Jersey.
Italians love blueberries, especially on
Tomatoes,
the shore.
red wine. Red wine. There was a thing online.
Can you make now tomatoes
said
are
red
fruit?
wine.
Can you make a tomato? Is there
can-
enough
oh.
sugar in a tomato to make wine?
I feel
Just-
like that'd be
just
gross.
Add 2 pounds of sugar per gallon of water, and you could probably make it.
You can ferment a tomato.
You can do anything. You can
Try
do,
it
oh,
out,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Make a batch.
Tomatoes. See, and they just said something too that drinking. How much is it? I can't even remember. Drinking a certain amount of red wine is equivalent to like an hour of exercise. There's something in red wine that burns off some of the same things an hour of exercise.
That's why
burns off.
winos look so healthy. You know, that's
I-
all that running they're doing in their head.
Yes.
Thanks, Carl. Listen, I'm
affirmative.
just trying here, man.
Affirmative.
I'm looking at a blank wall here today. You're not
all right.
helping me out,
It's all
Carl.
Just have it.
Or maybe it's just the setups are so awful you have nothing to.
Yeah, we'll just
it's
make
me.
the rest of this dead air just silence.
It's like, yeah.
I think that's a good thing to listen to.
We're going to take a break in about 4 minutes, and then we'll come back because I have to stretch my legs. Mead, I would just stick with the mead. I mean, not just stick with it, but concentrate heavy on it for a little while, man. You're winning awards, and
Well, I've had a couple that
What the
I did
hell?
with berries that I've had sitting. I couldn't submit last year or whatever. I've had sitting a couple years, and they actually blended a lot better. The flavor blended a lot better inside the bottle. A lot of the dark reds and stuff, the tannins help preserve stuff as well. They help like age. They age better. Whites don't age as well. but reds, I think it's because of the tannins and stuff in the reds. Reds age really, really well. A lot of the French reds or whatever, the Bordeaux's and all that stuff, do really good with age.
Yeah, you got to continue on the tradition. This stuff is old. It says pottery vessels containing chemical signatures of a mixture of honey, rice, and other fruits, along with organic compounds of fermentation dating from 6,500 to 7,000 BC, were found in northern China.
So they would make like a sake with the mead and sweeten it up, kind of, I guess, because that's rice.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, rice.
That's what they would use for sugar.
What is sake? Sake's actually
Yep.
I think that's
It's a rice. It's rice wine.
rice wine.
Rice
Okay.
wine. Yep. Sake.
Is it sweet at all?
I don't
'Cause
believe so.
rice is
but
all
it's higher.
sugar.
It's high. It's decent alcohol.
All that starch turns to sugar. I've never had it though. Have you ever tasted it?
Natural sugar, and then the honey would produce a little bit of flavor and more natural sugar.
Have you ever had
So
sake?
it's
Have
really
you ever tried it?
No, I don't. Nope, I don't think so.
I remember it from a Godzilla movie. I think they were.
I've tried a few wineries and stuff. I don't think I've tried a sake though.
Yeah, apparently, sake is Japanese, so maybe in China there's like a
We apologize to
variation.
all our
Yeah, might have just offended
Chinese
some
American
people. Yeah.
listeners.
Maybe
I
it's
don't know
just
who you are or
something
why you
similar.
would be listening to the show, anyways. But
Yeah,
if you're out there,
yeah. Look,
Konnichiwa.
maybe they just did like some similar kind of drink that to sake if it was made with rice. I don't know.
well, this is what I say. Somebody had to take a boat to get to Japan. I'm thinking they either came from Korea or China. So I stand by my statement. They didn't just appear on the island of Japan.
How do you know? How do you know?
You know,
From the
like
sky.
Jesus didn't sprinkle them there as an experiment.
Were
We'll
you
put
there?
these ones on an island, see what they do.
Were you there? How would you know?
I was there, Carl.
You were.
I have a time machine.
Oh, that's.
And
It's a phone booth. It's the only phone booth left in
Oh,
America.
is it? Oh, is it a blue phone booth like they have on Doctor Who, or is it just
No,
a regular?
it's black and it's
phone
in
booth?
Toledo on a side street off of the main drag in the bad part of town. So it really stinks to have to try to get there to go.
Why? Why Toledo? Is there
It's
anything
the
special?
it's the last remaining. Because Bell South's really strong.
Oh,
Bell,
all right.
Bell Midwest.
I hope you at least spruced it up a little bit. Like I hope it's just a.
I swept the cigarette butts out of the bottom, and I think there was some dried puke on one of the windows. But, I took
But you
care
can
of that.
clean that off. That's not a big deal.
Other than that, it's really good, and you really don't want to put your face on the receiver. Like sometimes I'll put like a piece of toilet paper or something over it before I talk into it to give my coordinates.
Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, I was picturing sort of like a blue, like Doctor Who type of.
They stole my idea, Carl.
Oh wow! So
So-
you've been doing it since like the '60s.
There's a pending lawsuit, so I can't really go too far into it with the Doctor Who.
All right, yeah,
producers.
we'll leave that. On that note, we're going to take a quick break, enjoy some Delphonics, and we'll be back in a few minutes. 88.5 LP FM. That was the Delphonics off of Adrian Young Presents the Delphonics. I've played Adrian Young plenty. Pick up the album. It's a great modern take on some old school gritty soul from the 70s. and
You're a
60s.
great modern take on some old school gritty 70s music.
You know, I've never gotten that compliment before, but it means a lot. It really does.
Really?
It really does.
You look like a type of person that would get that every day.
Really?
No.
I shouldn't have even have asked, really. I should have just gone with it.
So those hanging curves, Carl. Just keep throwing them my way, and we'll have a good time.
Yep. Anyway, this is a better conversation. If you're just tuning in with us, we have Jay's cousin Kevin in the studio with us. Very special guest.
We're doing a wine tasting on air. That tasted good, man. It's good.
Thank you.
It was
dry.
Cherry. Yeah, semi-dry. The fruit ones taste. A lot of people think they taste better with sugar, a little sweetened and stuff. But I drink some. I got into the tune of liking dry reds. I like dry reds. And there's not a lot of them locally, like grown cold hardy grapes up here that are dry red. There's a few of them. One of my favorites up here, a dry red locally one, is Marquette. They're a cold hardy grape, and they're actually developed back in 2006 by university. Yeah, it was bred with a Pinot Noir and another grape. And they do okay here. Last couple of years from the really, really bad cold we got a couple times.
Yeah.
Like 40-something below last year before, a day or two. Killed a lot of the Marquettes, a lot of vineyards, a lot of people I talked to in the area and stuff didn't do too great with their Marquettes. But There's another one called Baco Noir. That's a really, really good cold hardy grape.
He's a cold-hearted grape. Ooh, look into his eyes. Uh-oh.
One of the
he will tell you lies. Sorry, I just had to finish.
No, you're good. But there's New York State's been a big booming wine place within the last 5 years. They've gotten huge, and they've been pushing it. The state's been pushing it a lot with the New York wine trails, the Finger Lakes wine trails. Finger Lakes, they have some of the best Riesling. Their white wine, the Riesling in the Finger Lakes, is some of the best, at least in the United States. They're outdoing California's Rieslings by far because of the Great Lakes, the water and stuff around it and everything. They don't get really, really, really cold.
Yeah.
And the soil and everything, it's a little acidic, and you want that little bit of acidity in a white wine. So they're perfect. The Rieslings have done really, really good in the Finger Lakes.
I worked, Carl and I were talking earlier, I worked briefly at a wine place. And where we would do wine tastings, and people would come in, and I'd have to serve them drinks. And it was a nice way to learn that I have no business being a bartender. Like I played around with the idea for a long time, being a bartender. I don't drink really very often, so it's you shouldn't drink if you're a bartender. That's not good. And I grew up in bars from a small child, so I have some experience with them and knowing people. But I can't keep. It's too much. It's like too much information coming at you at once. And especially, say you're working some place when it's busy and you got 5 drinks ahead in your head and you got to think, oh, never mind. But I could not learn any of the nomenclature of the wine stuff. It's like, I'm not a wine drinker. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I brought you in. I let you talk. I don't know anything about it. But you're letting people know. I was just like glossing my eyes or glossing over there trying to explain all this wine stuff. I'm just not interested enough to.
Yeah,
I couldn't learn it. It was really hard. I worked about a month and a half, and I had a really good talk with the boss. I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to leave. I can't do this job. It's just too much, too stressful. I'm trying to pour wine in front of people. The customers are helping me open the bottles. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I made a $20 tip because I told the guy, listen, I explained to him over and over. I have no idea what I'm doing. They felt sorry for me, so they gave me money, which is great. But yeah, play dumb, which isn't much of a stretch for me.
And then there's the people that are sommeliers that actually can taste a wine, smell a wine, and tell you exactly what region that came from and the exact year and everything. That's crazy. That's a little crazy.
That's a little snobbish to me. It gets
to
a point where
information.
Yeah, well, okay.
How can you tell the year? That is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Some people are really, really, really
70s smelled. You're smelling the 70s wine? It's got a real funk to it. It's bad.
Well, it's crazy. I guess certain. Well, you can have the same vineyard. I guess there's a term over in France and stuff or whatever that they haven't used. They don't use a heck of a lot up here and stuff. It's terroir, called terroir or something, and it's called it's the meaning of everything in that grape from when it starts to when it finishes. The person involved, where it's located, the soil. You could have the exact same vineyard and grow the exact same grape in one plot and 20 feet higher altitude in a different spot, grow the exact same thing and end up with a little bit different tasting wine. It's just a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables. That's why they have certain vintages. They have certain...
Soil makes a difference. Everything makes a difference.
Everything makes a difference. The amount of water they
barometric
get.
Pressure.
Too much water, not enough water will give the grape a different taste. The people involved in it, how much love and actual TLC they put in it.
A bunch of dirt bags. It's not going to taste good.
There's a bit of people that don't care and let some of their grapes go to half rot or, don't do the pruning properly or don't put the care into it. If you put the actual care into anything you do, it usually stuff turns out pretty good, You just have to put the care into whatever you're doing.
Yeah. I can't do it, man.
Yeah,
I have no green thumb ability.
No.
You are part of, a lot of people in the family
Your
are
mom's had
hunters.
gardens for years.
A lot of good hunters in our family, a lot of good gardeners, a lot of musicians. I don't have any of the hunt or gardening ability. I mean, hunting, I have no interest in it, and gardening I just never could grow. Anything I've ever tried to grow has just died, or I have no interest in being a gardener. So
at
the end of the world, listen, I have a lot of family. I've told them I'm coming to their house. So let me play music in the end times for you, so you guys can go out and hunt, and I'll entertain you.
But
for the rapture
I
and
can't
all
do
the,
any.
when it comes. But
While you're picking the tomatoes off the bush, I'll sing to you. I'll karaoke with a guitar.
Yeah,
band name, isn't
exactly.
it? Yeah, we won't go
Picking tomatoes off the bush,
Yeah.
or
It doesn't matter.
I'd listen to that band.
I would too.
Absolutely.
Bush tomatoes.
Sure. George H.W. Bush tomatoes.
What a great guy. Is this where this is?
This is where the-
Is this where this is going now? Yeah, no.
No, I have
No.
no interest. Carl, did you see my wall of Britain over here?
All right, yeah, I did. I
Start in
came
the top left corner. I did a
came
little bit
in,
of remodeling.
yeah.
Go ahead, Carl.
No, I came in and I was like, something is different. And then I look over and Phil Collins is staring me right in the face. And I'm like, oh, hello. You're new here.
No jacket required, Carl. It has
No jacket
Sussudio.
required.
I have 2 copies of that. I played that copy the other day on the air, and I got some skips in it.
Ooh,
Because I didn't know which one was. I couldn't remember. So I said, well, that one's going to get relegated to...
wall duty.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little picture.
Yeah.
Below that, go ahead, Carl.
And then, yeah, we got the
Actually, your mother gave me that.
Really?
That's his mother that gave me that record.
the Beatles?
Yeah.
Did you
My
ever
Aunt
find
Bev.
out if that was real? I know
I-
we were. I know
I
you
think so.
you came into work
I
talking
want you
about
to
it. I
examine
was
it. Take
like,
it home and look at it. Let me
An
know.
original?
Your
Really?
mom got
She had a
your mom
bunch of
got it at
stuff.
she bought it at a garage sale for a quarter.
I'm telling you, she's got a bunch of stuff like that. Old like records.
The history of that record.
I got her a record player for
Go ahead.
Christmas last year because she had a bunch of records
Yeah.
and stuff over time. I knew she gave you some a while ago. I told her about that. I said, "Mom, you wanted a record player for years, didn't you?" Yeah, I gave a bunch of my records to Jason and stuff. I go, but you still got some. And so last year we got her one for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Good.
She enjoyed it.
very nice.
Good. Yeah, she hooked me up with Jerry Lee Lewis's country songs for city folks. Which
Ooh.
to me personally, as a Jerry Lee fan, was a great find.
Nice.
That album right there, VJ Records. See, what happened was in England, I can't remember the company. Well, I don't think it was EMI. Yeah, it might have been.
I know Parlophone was doing their stuff
Okay.
over in the UK.
They tried the Beatles. This come out in '63, I think. This album.
63,
Look it up
60.
on there. Well,
63 or
yeah, let's get the
64.
information right on what this album is. There's very special significance to this album, and I want to talk about it correctly. I just can't remember all the details.
And you've got that on the wall. I won't say, but probably because there's a couple British England people in that. I know.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do any of that. No, anything from there over, that's our section. This
Oh,
is
nice.
the office. Yeah, we're over there.
January 10th of 64.
Give us what this is. Go ahead, Carl. Let us
Okay,
know what this
yeah.
album is.
So introducing the Beatles. Obviously, this album is the original pressing is extremely rare, and it's a collector's item if it's a legitimate pressing, and it's very hard to get one. I know my mom. I found a copy of it in my basement, but it was not an original. And I was like, okay, this. I got really excited. I was like, oh my god, this could be like a really big, like, find here. And then I looked and found out that it wasn't real. But yeah, it came out on VJ 10 days before Capitals Meet the Beatles. Let's see what else. Introducing this is the first American release. It was the subject of much legal wrangling, but ultimately VJ were permitted to sell the album until late '64. Oh, so they were only able to sell it for a year.
So it's
That's
Even
that's
more
a
rare.
that's even
wow.
by the time it sold over 1.3 million copies, but still that's
So
rare.
1.3. Well, nowhere near 1.3 kicking around now. I'm sure a lot of them are
Oh,
damaged.
dude.
When did it come out? When did it actually get released?
January 10th, 64.
Okay.
Wow.
It was recorded November of
for,
62.
scheduled for a July 63 release. That is a long time to be waiting on an album.
So let's look some more on there. I want to see. Let's do some more information on this. Now I know that it's the most rarest Beatle album. to
Yes.
own, but it is also the most copied, bootlegged album
that's for sure.
in history. In the history of all bootlegged albums.
And they bootlegged them way back then too, huh?
Oh yeah. Now there's it right there.
Yeah, starting in the late 60s and continuing through the 90s, it was frequently counterfeited. They can be identified by the cover printing and quality, the label or the sound quality. They have some differences, including the labels with the title of the album and the group's name separated by the center spindle hole on the actual vinyl itself.
Yeah. There you go.
This is a great time. We're going to find out if this is some legit stuff. All right. Labels with color bands that are off-center and or missing the color green as shown in the photo on the right. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay, like the.
That's in good condition too. The cover.
The paper's ripped, but that's.
Hey, it's an inner sleeve.
I actually
It's-
play this.
That's
This
a
is-
real sleeve though
I
too.
play this
So
on, yeah, this is the original sleeve.
All right, it has the color
There's
green.
green.
Okay, so
There's green in it.
what are the things? What we got
All right,
left, Carl?
so the labels. All right, on the label. Let's see here. With the title of the album and the group's name separated by the center spindle. So I guess that cannot be separated by the center spindle.
It is
not
not
separated.
Introducing
All right,
the
all
Beatles.
right. So the green is there. Labels with large white brackets, no color band.
Negative.
Negative.
is a negative.
Color band.
Let's see. Album covers with dark brown borders, which I don't think yours has.
No borders whatsoever.
Don't see any borders there. Let's see. Dating from the late 70s, George Harrison's shadow is not visible on the right side of the corner. However, all legitimate copies of the album and even most counterfeits include his shadow.
There's a shadow.
Oh, there's
All
a
right.
shadow on the right.
Nearly all fakes claim to be in stereo.
I think it is. We can't play it now, but this is a stereo. Well,
It should stay in stereo, right?
If it, even though the actual sound is in mono, as legitimate.
no, it doesn't say stereo anywhere.
Oh, okay, so as legitimate stereo copies of Introducing the Beatles are rare, the majority of copies with stereo or stereophonic printed on the cover are counterfeits.
Nowhere.
No stereophonic or stereo.
No. Okay, well, those are all the
Wow.
criteria on the
Telltale
Wikipedia.
signs.
one.
There's more though. Go to. There's an actual site set up for this. I do believe.
I
just for
actually
this
know.
record.
There's
There's more. There's even more stuff on the inner sleeve. We're gonna get to the bottom of this today.
we will
Wow.
do that. The Beatles. I'll say counterfeit or something.
I have a picture on my phone that your mother gave me of Jerry Lee Lewis from Hank Williams Jr.'s bus. She turned around and took a picture of Jerry Lee. They hung out and partied in Syracuse. Remember her girlfriend,
Nancy.
Nancy.
Yeah, her best friend.
Her and Nancy went down there and hung out with the band, and she gave me a bunch of old photos. I have them at home of Jerry Lee, like during the concert,
Oh yeah.
and I'll get them up on the website. We'll put them on YouTube, and
Right.
I'll put that photo up on YouTube. It's on my phone. I'll give it to Carl that your mom took,
Nice.
and she gave me the picture.
My mom had Elvis Presley's last concert ticket before he passed away,
Yeah,
and Grandpa made her return it and get the money back.
he
So-
wasn't very cool, anyways. He wouldn't know cool if it slapped him in the face.
Grandpa.
Come on now.
But
What are you seeing,
yeah,
Carl?
she had
What
to
we got?
return it. Her and her friend Nancy both had them to go, and she had to return.
So the first sentence is really funny. It says one of the most dreaded emails a Beatles dealer or expert can receive goes something like this. I just got my mom's copy of Introducing the Beatles that she purchased back when she was a kid. What's it worth? Let's see. First, you must determine whether it's a counterfeit. The Beatles, the spindle thing, it's in the right spot, right?
Yeah, we're good on that one.
There are other things. Improper trail off area markings.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It just says that. I don't know whether or not or how you can gauge whether.
trail off marking.
I don't even know what that is.
That's dumb. Doesn't make any sense. There's nothing etched in there except for the numbers, which should be etched in there.
Yeah. Let's
There's a little
see.
Triangle. Should be a little triangle.
Let's see. The honey test, that's interesting, requires the inspection of the back cover. Many counterfeit covers have back slicks with the same imperfections. The most noticeable flaw appears in the word honey in the song A Taste of Honey. Are the letters H and E missing ink in their upper left parts? If so, the cover is fake.
No.
No, that's
No?
100%.
Taste the honey's right on, baby. See it?
Yeah, no missing.
She's looking
anything.
good.
Oh my god. All right. The letters
That cut case is in excellent shape.
Oh my goodness. The
It's got a
flap.
little bend, but
What
I
about
don't
the
What?
flap test? Not an absolute rule of all covers. Legitimate version 1 mono covers without flaps have been found with later wait, I don't know what this is.
Flap.
What the flap are you talking about?
I have no idea. If the record is fake, chances are the covers. Wonder if is there like a list somewhere maybe that I can get?
There's a whole site I looked all this stuff up on one day.
Okay.
There's a good one.
All right, so that's a fake one. Yours does not have a brown border.
No.
The lettering on the bottom right corner should be black and read LP
10062.
Yeah.
That's a match,
That
baby.
is a match. Let's see here. Yeah, not stereophonic. Let's see.
Way to go, Mom.
Should be putting this in there.
Nice. Yeah, probably.
Does the skin tone of the Beatles have an unnatural pink hue?
No, they looked fine when I seen them. They all looked
No.
normal skin.
All
Their
right.
skin looks fine. They're all wearing pink collared shirts, but I think it looks fine.
Yeah.
As
let's
pink as
see
that one on
here.
Number one vocal group. Beatles.
On original. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll skip the flap test because that's a little bit of a noise. You should be a little cautious of a mono version 1 column back sleeve. You have to be extremely cautious. Any copy with a back slick printed on flat vice glossy stock paper is fake. I don't. That doesn't make any
no.
sense.
Cardboard. That's full.
I don't think so. What does that mean now? What did you say? Say it again.
I take it. Okay, it says any copy with a back slick printed on flat vice glossy stock paper is fake. I don't think that's it. I don't.
No, it looks
Doesn't
like
seem-
the whole same
seems
kind of
the same
sleeve.
material.
Yep, that's what I thought.
well, no. It's stuck on.
Hmm.
But it's just the back because where it folds. It's the back of it.
Oh,
No,
true. All right.
No, it's a stick on. It is a stick. What's it say? We gotta find out. No, that might be the flaw. No, let's keep going.
You
Maybe it is fake.
you should be a little cautious of mono version 1 column back sleeve. You have to be extremely cautious if it's a stereo back slick. I don't. Okay. On originals, the back of the sleeve is glued to a 1/4 inch flap on the front.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it is a glued on thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And okay, and wait a minute, 1/4 inch flap in the front. Both. Okay, you see what they're talking about? See where it's glued together? It's a 1/4 inch long there and a 1/4 inch long there. The fold, the extra tab that comes around is a 1/4 inch on each side. So that's
all right. So it looks like it passes the flap test. No fake song stickers.
Doesn't look like those center spools
Nope.
either.
Let's see here.
What's the next one down though? What's that say?
This one.
Oh, there's no green in it.
Yeah, there's no green in this one. This fake has the Beatles printed above the spindle hole. That one does too, but I don't think that means it's a fake.
No.
Yeah, because they were saying they wanted it stayed together on the other one. So
Yeah. Printed above EJ logo, it's twice the size.
Yeah, those are wrong.
so far so good.
Those aren't either.
Yeah.
I think we got it, man.
I feel like this. I think this is real. I'm looking at that VJ logo, and it's different than these ones.
Yeah, those are fakes there.
This one's a real one, but I don't know. Maybe they just.
No, because remember it said it's got to have the green.
The color, the green
color.
So some of the fakes didn't have the green color. That's got a
It
full
goes from yellow
rainbow.
to purple. This one goes from yellow to green to purple.
Oh, I'm just looking at the black part
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's on the other side or something.
Is that a rainbow? Is that what it is? Does it go around red, orange, yellow, green, blue, like rainbow?
Go to the other side. Yeah, it's a different logo.
It is.
So that's weird. I've never seen that before. Let me see.
See, that's what it is. It's
real, dude.
it's a rainbow.
Yeah.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and to go all the way around. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and to go violet.
Maybe that is real.
I think it's past the
that's a
test,
rainbow.
Carl.
That's green's
pretty. Yeah.
25 cents. But here's the difference, Carl. Guess what? I actually played this on the air.
Yeah, you own that to play.
You know
not
my
to-
problem with music weirdos that buy all these records and they hide them in their closet somewhere because they're
You actually
hoarders,
played it. There you go.
or they turn around and sell them immediately for a. They use it as a commodity and not an art.
Yeah,
this
like
is a
when
piece
somebody-
of art. This is a piece of rock and roll history. In 1,000 years, you can dig this plastic disc up and play it without electricity and hear what rock and roll was. You can't do that with digital downloads. You can't do that with CDs. You can't do it with any other format, including tape. But you can do it with a hard plastic disc because, like the old-fashioned
Cranks.
they
Cranks.
crank them
And
up.
to go off of the thing you were talking about, people
It's
that
the
buy them.
preservation of art.
Yes. To go off of the thing you were talking about with people who buy them and don't play them, that is precisely one of the reasons Record Store Day is such a pain nowadays, because people who will line up early with all the other music lovers.
What's Record Store Day?
You don't know what Record Store Day is? It's
Inform
a day.
us, Carl.
It is a day. It's in April. Yeah, it's in April, I believe.
you gotta go.
soon, yeah. Here.
Oh, okay.
better go.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
Take a break.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta go soon too. Well, we can tie.
A little bit. You can talk about that. If
Let's
that's
do 5
that's
minutes.
original,
All right,
that's
yeah.
pretty good find right there.
We'll get you out of here. You're not gonna make it in time.
Yeah.
I wonder how many originals are hanging around still, though.
It's the most rare of all the records.
Yes.
And there was 1.2 or 1.5 million released. Something
yeah,
like that, right?
back in the
Something-
'60s, yeah.
yeah.
Within just in 1 year.
And one of the
period,
most
though, wasn't
rare now, because people didn't care. They didn't care. Some people didn't care. Oh, here, this one went in. I think the record went here. Oh,
No.
it's the same one,
it?
same
That's
thing.
just another case.
Nice.
But yeah, just quickly, Record Store Day is it's a day once a year, to celebrate independent record stores, and artists and like record companies and whatever will release like exclusive Record Store Day pressings of albums or singles or do exclusive stuff.
Can you see my eyes rolling?
Yeah, they're rolling. It's a cool day, but the problem is things like you buy them on Record Store Day, and people they'll line up, they'll buy the stuff, and then they'll go home and put it online to sell it for a crap ton of money because they like screwing over people. And it's a lot of people complain that Record Store Day is becoming too corporate and consumerist.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's nothing I hate worse than putting a price tag on art. I mean, I don't know.
The day I think is I understand the intention behind it, but at this point, it's just a little bit too crazy to be worth going out and just shelling out a crap.
It's the company's. It's the record company's fault.
That's what
though.
it is. Because
release these in mass so we can enjoy them, so we can listen to them, so we're not forced to listen to digital music, and maybe once in a while we can actually hear a nice, soft piece of music that doesn't sound like you're rubbing cheese graters on your eardrums when you're listening to it.
Yeah, some of these records, I swear to God, they're like shoes that people will scalp.
And I blame the artists. How many Lamborghinis and jets do you need? How do you put a... It just goes all back to that. How do you put a price tag? I had a good conversation with one of the interns working the farm here a few weeks ago about this. You have somebody who... They're unknown. They're in their house right now, and they're pouring their heart and soul into something, getting no money at all for.
Yes.
And then somebody else just happens to be in a gallery, and they're just throwing money at them. But you know what? They're sellouts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it, man. This is the
Better
this is the
conversation.
show. We're gonna have to get out of here. We got to get my cousin out of here. I gotta leave soon.
I have to run.
Thanks, dude,
Yes,
for hanging out.
thank
This is
you
great.
very much.
You gotta come down and do this again.
Thank you guys very much.
Bring more booze too.
Appreciate it. Yeah, more homemade wine.
Yeah, bring more homemade wine. We enjoy it. This will be on YouTube. Tell them everything, Carl. Let them
YouTube.
know.
Search us
Check
on
us out,
YouTube. Better Radio 88.5. We can't get a custom URL, but just go in the search bar, search us there. You will find us. Facebook.com/WBTS Better Radio. We'll be posting updates on stuff there. But if you want to get most of the content, you'll be hearing. If you want to get every Better conversation or interviews or basically anything not related to music or where we play music, just hit us up. You find us on YouTube. You'll see everything there. That is a Better conversation for today. Give it a few minutes. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming.